Weeks ago, I saw it in the news. Tulia, Texas, literally filling the jail with half the town's black people, framing them. Here's a New York Times article. DNA evidence can be fabricated, scientists show. That was from a week ago. Folks, we knew this. We knew this years ago that they can fake your fingerprints. But I'm going to shut up now and go to Dr. Frederic Whitehurst for the balance of the hour to talk about, are things getting worse? Are they getting better? What's happening around the country? But first, sir, just going right back to you, I've got so many questions. Just start wherever you wish.
Well, you were talking about are things getting worse or getting better, and I think they're getting a lot better. I think because we have instantaneous knowledge now. We're connected through the Internet, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And we can research on our own from our living rooms, our bedrooms, our offices, even our cars. We can be at the beach and find out that, for instance, an article just came out while I was waiting for this show here. The Nebraska CSI chief has been found guilty of planting evidence. We know about those things now, and that's really healthy. When the government controls the knowledge base, then that becomes dangerous because their inferences may not be proper inferences. We, as a people, govern this nation. That's what our goal is. It may at times we vary from it, but sir, I think that with instantaneous knowledge, then we all can take part in juries. We can all take part in who we elect. We can say, I'm not sure about this. About 3 weeks ago, I had a guy in North Carolina before the North Carolina Innocence Commission. His name's Dwayne Deaver. Told them 18 years ago during trial of this man who was before the commission, there were two tests that decided whether it was blood in the evidence, and one of them said yes, and the other one said no, and he only reported the yes. And it has shaken up this state to think that a man in our crime laboratory, a lowly state employee, can put a guy in jail forever. Just unilaterally decide, well, I'm not going to report the stuff that would hurt the prosecutor's case. We found that out instantaneously. This wasn't in some court 500 miles from here, whatever. It's all over the news, all over the place. And so I think it's really, things are getting better, a lot better, because, I could talk to you, and you're going out to a lot of audience. I'm in North Carolina. I think you're in Texas, aren't you, sir? And so,
absolutely.
So people's questions can be answered just by going to Google. And are we getting better? We're getting better at the lightning speed, in my opinion. Some of it's frightening because the paradigms that have been in place for so long, let's trust J. Edgar Hoover's agents. They're beyond investigation. They used to tell me when I was in the FBI, we're the investigators, nobody will investigate us. Well, by golly, all of us, anybody, grade school kid can investigate any of these things and look at, don't just accept. So are we moving ahead? Excuse me. We're moving really fast ahead. Are we scared by what we're seeing right now? Yeah, but in the long run, it's going to be healthy.
Well, here's an example. I have the indictment and the affidavits for the head of the Mumbai terror attacks, and it's a U.S. government agent. I have NBC here with the FBI literally commanding and setting up and running the latest Muslim terror group that was going to bomb a synagogue. We have these groups infiltrating militias, and the leaders are the ones who are government informants or agents provocateuring this. And it's just case after case after case. And then I myself have had people who it turned out were feds try to set me up for things. And so I'm trying to understand from your perspective as the former head of the FBI Crime Lab Forensics Division, how did you awaken? How did you start seeing the corruption? Why did you speak up? What percentage, as a dead reckoning guesstimation, of police departments or FBI agents or their workers, what percentage, for whatever reason, just love framing people? Because we now know, because of DNA evidence and other issues, in some states, a third of the people or more are completely innocent. And we know that the biggest industry now in this nation is prisons. And there's this incentive to just build, and put more people in prison. And as you said, the paradigm is shifting as the population begins to discover that something is rotten in the state of our republic.
Well, if I'd respond to that, first of all, I don't personally believe that most law enforcement officers are bad. I'm a very strong supporter of law enforcement. And I said, sir, law enforcement. I don't support law enforcement officers that go outside, that cross the thin blue line and tarnish their badge. I just don't. I understand from being inside what the pressures are. When we have in Oklahoma City go up and we see bodies of little children being dragged out, we call for revenge. That call for revenge directs our politicians, and that's what they are. They're politicians to move forward with an agenda that we will at all costs, da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, that vengeance drags at the foundation of our justice system. We want to know what happened. We want to know who really did it. Unfortunately, in any enterprise such as law enforcement, where somebody who gives the right answer to the right question at the right time gets the right job and there's no oversight, as a friend of mine and I were saying recently, we all know what floats to the top in a septic tank. And that, frankly, is what, without proper oversight, can float to the top in a law enforcement agency or a government agency. People that are willing to do whatever it takes without any moral compass go to the top. They control who then floats to the top with them. The problem you have in law enforcement is in my opinion, let's take the FBI. The FBI is cram-packed full of very, very good people. And those that remain as law enforcement officers instead of managers and rear echelon folks, those people, they see what's going on, and they will respond. They respond either as going to the media under the table, which I think is inappropriate. They respond by going forward through the system. For your listeners that don't know, right now there is a move to gut the Whistleblower Protection Act with a bill. It's the Senate Bill 372 before the Senate right now, to gut the Whistleblower Protection Act, to allow the FBI to review its own whistleblowers and to decide on their credibility and totally take their rights away. That bill, the structure of that bill, which came through the White House, by the way, a White House which, when it was running for election, said, we're going to strengthen whistleblower protection. That bill would put the FBI in a totally uncontrolled situation. Their own law enforcement officers who would do something about those issues would be shut down. The FBI would be allowed to...
Well, let's go back, and then that would generate even more tyranny. Kathleen Rowley and it was 15 or more other FBI agents tried to stop the exact hijackers and were ordered, you will not do that. And the guys that blocked them, their superiors, they got record cash bonuses, and the good FBI agents got demoted or run out.
And you know that, sir, because FBI agents who they tried to stop came out because they're that kind of people. I knew doggone well I might catch a bullet when I was in the FBI for the stuff I was saying. I mean, it was terrifying for me and my family. And where would the bullet have come from? I don't know. But every one of those people said, I'll take a bullet. I'll lose my career. I'll lose my life's work. I may be put in a nut house. I may be arrested. I may be whatever. But that's not happening from field agents. That's not happening from FBI agents. It's happening from criminals who are loose in the FBI. And that is not the major percentage of them. But in my experience, sir, most of those are top managers at the FBI that have managed, through lack of a moral compass, to move to the top and spread that kind of criminal activity where they want to, but they get stopped. If Senate Bill 372 goes through, there's FBI agents, I guarantee you, they'll find another way to stop that criminal activity. They just will. If they're not allowed to be protected as whistleblowers, then they'll just fall on their swords. They're that kind of people. So when you say, law enforcement's run amok, I think what's happening is because of the information that we can get to now. When somebody does run amok, Tulia, Texas, for instance, whoever heard of that?